Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today we ended up getting yet another new update in Warzone and Modern Warfare 3. This one even more so surprising, I think, as the weeks go on and we get closer and closer to the launch of Black Ops 6. It's more surprising when we do see some larger updates like this that actually include a decent amount of patch notes between multiplayer and Warzone. And so, of course, today we're diving into everything that ended up changing. First things first, I know a lot of you guys were commenting about it yesterday, but there is still currently an outage going on that does directly affect Call of Duty tethered to PlayStation Network. So if you are a PS4 or a PS5 player, you may experience issues when you go on and you try to log into Call of Duty with server issues, with account actually like networking issues. So it'll say like your account can't connect or whatever, or can't find your data, all sorts of bugs like that specifically for PlayStation. So this is also affecting other games outside of Call of Duty, but saw a lot of concern. Hey, what's going on? Is Call of Duty down? Why does it say my account's not connecting or anything? This is why. There is still an issue going on with this. I imagine it'll be restored relatively soon, but to be fair, I also thought that yesterday afternoon when this first happened, and it's still ongoing. But if you're wondering why you're potentially having some issues, that is why. It's not anything, you know, specific to your account individually. It is a more widespread issue. But aside from that, as mentioned, we actually got a full-on multiplayer and Warzone update today that includes a decently lengthy list of patch notes. We've got our Tuesday, October 1st update. It's already October. Time is flying. Black Ops 6 is launching this month, of course. Going to be a crazy month in general for reveals, announcements, and ultimately the BO6 launch as well. So if you want to guarantee you are up to date with everything going on in COD, whether it is updates, announcements, you name it, it's all right here. Feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications. And if you enjoyed this video as we go through all the update changes, a like rating would be really appreciated as well. We actually don't even have any general like global updates. We're jumping right into some of the multiplayer specific stuff. This is just a hot fix update though, so doesn't require a full download. It's just going to give you the update requires restart screen. But for multiplayer on shipment, fixed an issue causing inconsistent spawn availability between the various different map variants. Based on player feedback supported by our analytics, spawn quality improved by approximately 10% on ship miss compared to sell ship and ghost ship. So we actually changed that to improve it across the board. That's kind of an interesting test they could run there. And on Spore Yard, they fixed an exploit for unintended areas. Then we get a decent amount of weapon updates. Now we're going to have to see how much of this is actually applied to Warzone momentarily, but here, a lot ended up changing. So for rifles, M13C increased the maximum damage by 3%. Within its maximum damage range, the M13C is now capable of a 4-shot kill. The DTIR, they decreased the lower torso multiplier from 0.13 to just 1 time. So DTIR gets nerfed in multiplayer slightly. It's just the lower torso, but it's something. For shotguns, we saw a lot of updates specifically. I'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit more there. A lot of updates specifically for MW3 shotguns. So KV broadside max damage range buff, near to medium damage range buff, Lockwood 300 max damage range buff, Expedite 12 max damage and near to medium damage range buffs. Bryson 800 got a near to medium damage buff, a medium damage buff, and then a max range, and then a near to medium damage range buff. So a lot going on there. Then the Bryson 890 increased the near to medium damage and the max damage range. So buffs all around for MW2 shotties. For marksman rifles, on the crossbow, increased bolt velocity by 81%, decreased the bolt gravity influence, then increased the neck damage multiplier as well. Then the various different bolts got their ADS spread removed entirely. On the SAB 50, they actually increased the max damage and the near to medium damage, but they nerfed the max damage range and the near to medium damage range. So better damage, less range for those. Added a medium damage range, but then also decreased the lower torso and upper arm multipliers. For handguns, also a lot of updates for MW2 guns. So we are seeing MW2 weapon updates. They just so happen to be all for multiplayer thus far, not nearly as much in Warzone. But anyways, for the pistols here, P890 increased the max damage, the min damage, but decreased the max damage range. On the 50 GS, they buffed the max damage in the near to medium damage, but then nerfed the max range in the near to medium range. On the X12, buffed the max damage and the near to medium damage and the minimum damage as well. Then on the Akimbo rear grip, they increased the damage penalty though. Then on the Basilisk, increased the headshot multiplier, decreased the medium damage range, and removed the far to medium damage range. So the Basilisk is now capable of a 1-shot kill to the head up to its medium damage range. So if you're crazy accurate, the Basilisk headshots are going to go crazy for you in multiplayer. On the F-Tac Siege, they increased the max damage, the near to medium damage, the medium damage, and the minimum damage. So buffs all across the board for the Siege. On the GS Magna, increased the minimum damage, increased the lower torso multiplier, and then also the upper leg, lower leg, and foot multipliers as well. Then the X13 auto, they decreased the control, or the recoil rather, so it'll be easier to use, and then buffed the damage for maximum, near to medium, and then medium and minimum. So damage buffs all across the board on that. So a lot of MW2 weapon buffs for multiplayer. We'll see if those transfer over to Warzone as well. With kill streaks on the Guardian, the turret can now be deployed while the player is standing in water, so nothing too crazy there. And surprisingly, no zombies updates whatsoever. If you weren't convinced, zombies is completely done until Black Ops 6 drops. This is just more evidence of that. But that said, now let's jump over to the Warzone patch notes. So here we've got our Tuesday, October 1st update, and then on Rebirth, Hellspawn, Purgatory, the Terrorball challenge, downing enemies now counts towards progression of this challenge. That's actually pretty funny because this is by far the challenge that players are struggling the most with. You have to go through and then like shoot a player, knock them, and then push the Terrorball into them to clean up the kill, or hope that they're a solo and just simply wiping them gets you the full kill to get progress with this. Can't count how many times I've been in a lobby and everyone is in voice chat or text chat saying, hey, anyone trying to work on their Terrorball challenges or something like that, right? So they're making this a little bit easier to go through and complete that challenge. You can work on getting your cloud camo ultimately for that. Then for our weapon updates, the crossbow is our first one mentioned. They increased the bolt velocity up to 200, decreased the gravity, and then also removed the ADS spread on all of the various bolts, the bright blaze, the blast cap, then also the caustic. Then for general weapons here, wait, they list weapons twice, but these aren't weapons. Are you I'm reloading the page. There's no way. There's only one weapon update for all of Warzone. So here's the thing. Sometimes with weapon updates, when they list all those things like they did in multiplayer, they sometimes also are intended for Warzone, but they don't talk about them in the patch notes. However, considering a lot of those were damage profile specific updates, that stuff has been more one-off individual to multiplayer. So I know some players will probably say, hey, do those multiplayer updates for all those MW2 weapons also apply over here to Warzone? And because it didn't seem like they were universal updates and instead damage specific updates and range specific updates, all of that is multiplayer exclusive. So now I'm scratching my head. Why are they updating so many MW2 weapons in multiplayer when multiplayer admittedly will be pretty much dead when Black Ops 6 drops? And yet Warzone gets one whole weapon update here for the crossbow and nothing else. That to me doesn't quite make sense. Like, Warzone will live on past October 25th, obviously. Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer, it will some, but not nearly as much. So that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Anyways, for the weapon updates that are actually just bug fixes and whatnot, they fixed an issue preventing new contracts from appearing after the second circle, fixed an issue allowing players to earn more than intended experience from decoy grenades in the purgatory mode. Then they also fixed an issue preventing the execution prompt from appearing when behind an enemy. So a couple of minor bug fixes there, but overall, I'm refreshing one more time. Yep, nope, nothing. A very strange surprise update here today. I'm still holding out hope that they're eventually going to follow through on their promises and fix the MW2 snipers in Warzone and buff more MW2 guns and adjust some attachments. But for now, a rather strange update. And that's going to conclude things for today. If you enjoyed the video nonetheless, a like rating would be seriously appreciated. And if you are new to the channel or you simply have not subscribed yet, every single day I got you covered with news, updates, patch notes, meta breakdowns, everything going on in COD is right here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.